everyone, this is my week's reflection on this week's video, reading, and visual organizer. When people hear the word justice, they often think about courts, laws, or punishment. But in philosophy, justice is a much bigger concept. Justice asks an important question: what kind of society should we build? Instead of focusing only on individual actions, justice looks at how societies are organized and whether the system that shapes our lives are fair. Earlier ethical theories usually focus on individuals making moral decisions. For example, some theories focus on rules we should follow, others focus on the consequences of our actions, and some focus on developing good character. Justice shifts the conversation outward. Instead of asking what should I do, justice asks how should society structure its institutions and distribute its resources. One idea from the reading that stood out to me was the explanation that justice deals with the structure of institutions and how benefits and burdens are distributed among people. That idea really changed how I thought about justice. Before reading this, I mostly thought of justice as something related to punishment or fairness in individual situations, but the reading made it clear that justice is really about the design of society itself and the systems that influence people's lives. One of the earliest philosophers to explore justice was Plato. In The Republic, Plato described justice as a kind of harmony within a system. He believed that society works best when each part performs its proper role. Rulers govern, defenders protect the city, and producers support the economy. Plato also believed this idea applied to individuals. He thought the human soul has three parts: reason, spirit, and appetite. And justice within a person happens when those parts are balanced and guided by reason. However, modern discussions of justice focus on more what philosophers call distributive justice, which looks at how resources and opportunities are shared in a society. Important social goods include things like wealth, education, healthcare, and political power. These goods shape people's life chances, so the way they are distributed becomes a moral issue. There are several different ideas about what fair distribution should look like. One approach is equality, which says everyone should receive the same share of resources. Another approach focuses on need, meaning those who require more support should receive more. A third approach focuses on merit, which argues that people should receive benefits based on effort or contribution. This leads to an important philosopher debate. Is justice simply about fair rules being applied consistently, or should justice also consider the outcome those rules create? Some philosophers, like Robert Nozick, believe justice mainly depends on fair rules and voluntary exchange. As long as people acquire property legally and interact freely, the resulting distribution is considered just, even if it becomes very unequal. Other philosophers disagree. John Rawls argued that justice must also consider outcomes. His theory of justice as fairness suggests that social systems should protect the least advantaged members of society. According to Rawls, inequalities are only acceptable if they improve the lives of those who are worst off. Personally, I think justice requires considering both rules and outcomes. Fair rules are important because they protect freedom and prevent discrimination. But if those rules consistently create larger inequalities or prevent some people from accessing basic resources like healthcare or education, then the system itself may need to change. Ultimately, justice matters because it shapes institutions that organize society. Our ideas about justice influence laws, economic systems, healthcare policies, and educational opportunities. In other words, justice is where moral philosophy becomes political philosophy. It's not just about what kind of person we want to be, it's also about what kind of society we want to create. Thank you.